what are the implications that you do foresee from the Iraqi Prime Minister's warning about the region entering a critical phase, particularly in light of these events? Following October 7th, of course.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. First of all, I just would like to apologize. In a few minutes, I will be heading to another very important meeting, but it seems like the escalating of the situation in the Middle East is what the American leaders and the American government were wanting Benjamin Netanyahu from doing so. But I think, according to Benjamin Netanyahu's thoughts, this is a very good opportunity for him. America is very busy with the local situation of the election of 2024, plus the speech of Benjamin Netanyahu last Friday at the United Nations General Assembly. It shows that he is not willing for any kind of discussion, negotiation. He is hidden of what he has in his mind. If he was not successful to do any achievement on the ground in Gaza for 1 year, almost more than 11 months, and he would like to go forward for Lebanon. What happened with the last few days and few weeks with the leaders of, Lebanon and the leaders of what Lebanon is suffering from for the last few years, Hezbollah. I think he is trying to do something to show his citizens and his cabinet that he can be very successful. He put Iran in a very difficult situation, and Iran actually has no choice. And even so, whatever is happening is exactly what we are suffering from, and we are afraid from, that escalating is not in the favor of the region. But Benjamin Netanyahu is not listening to anybody. He is just listening to his own objective in order to achieve something in the near future, taking in his calculation that the circumstances of the time is on his side. America is so busy with, the local circumstances of the election. I'm glad to do so from New York, but according to my engagement for the next few minutes, I just would like to apologize. Maybe in the near future I can join you for more time if that will be possible.
Mr. Maharem, now internationally, Mr. Maharem, are you still with us?
Yeah, I do speak from New York, yes.
Yes. Well, how might the UN Secretary General's condemnation of the escalation in the Middle East influence international responses to the ongoing conflict? And will there be swift responses?
I think what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing, he has certain kind or level of green card from America, but Europe, I think the view of Europe will be different. So to what extent the international efforts from Europe to enforce with American, I think something will be different in the next few days. Lebanon is very important to the European, especially to France. And to the Middle East, I don't think America is willing of what Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to do. But I think Benjamin Netanyahu is still doing what he would like to do, taking the advantage that America, according to him, is very weak right now, and the cabinet of President Biden is also very weak. But hope things will go to the right side, and we are not hoping that more escalation will happen in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Well, you spoke of European responses. Now, what specific actions should the international community take in response to the German foreign minister's urgent warning to Iran regarding the current escalation?
Well, most of the European leaders will do the same, giving Iran certain advices not to escalate the situation. And Iran actually has a very difficult, very complicated situation. She is in a very difficult position. What happened for the last few weeks, something has to be done by the leaders of Iran, and accordingly, they also have in their consideration, they are pulled by Israel to do so in order that Benjamin Netanyahu can achieve his objective and more escalation to the situation. So Iran has to deal with the matter in a very specific and consider that any escalation will not be on the favor of Iran itself and the region. Israel is trying hard for the next few weeks, taking the advantage that America, from the point of busy with the election, and also Benjamin Netanyahu has certain kind of green line from the political side, and also the Minister of Defense of the state says that in Israel will be in danger. We are supposed to send soldiers to the area.
Mr. Maharem, now, the Iranian state television claimed that 80% of the missiles fired at Israel hit their targets. Now, how credible are these reports? And if true, what impact might this have on the Israeli defense strategies?
Well, to be honest, nothing is clear. We are hearing from different resources, but to be honest, the situation is very, very hard to understand and to evaluate. Each side has to say what he's supposed to consider good in his behalf. But I think it is for the next few hours and days, the situation considered or needs a kind of calm, a kind of justice, and a kind of wisdom also from all the sides, starting from America. I think the leaders of America have to do something in order to stop Benjamin Netanyahu of going further for that. I do appreciate, but maybe I have to take a permission if I can leave because I have some commitment. I appreciate. Thank you so much.
Mr. Maharem, are you still with us, sir? Now, speaking of the Israeli defense strategies, now, what about the capabilities of the Israeli defense strategies and ability to deal with the situation in Gaza, deal with the situation in Lebanon, and respond to the Iranian attacks and defend its own citizens?
That's a good question. I think the capability of Israeli forces is not only counting on how far they have to go to harm the other side, either Palestinian or Lebanese. But the most difficult situation and complicated, the citizens of Israel, they are living on the area of borders. So the most critical position Israel has to consider is if Hezbollah still can do what he can do, plus still fighting there and here in Gaza with the Hamas people, that will not make it easy for the Israeli. Israeli has to do some kind of wisdom in order to find a good solution. It will never be win-win situation unless Israel has to understand that those people, they were suffering for the last few years, and they have to get respect and get considered that diplomats is the only thing to get a better solution. War and fighting and killing is not guarantee Israel peace. They have to consider that a compromise has to be taking place in the region with the help of the international leaders.
So what about the diplomatic efforts? I mean, some sort of heads need to prevail. Calmness should be prevailing. Is that too much to expect or to ask in a time where we are witnessing military and aggressive escalations taking place by the minute?
Well, it is actually very sad to say diplomats. If you look to the last Friday at the General Assembly, the speech of Benjamin Netanyahu, that speech, if you make any analysis, it kills any kind of diplomat. It doesn't give any respect to the United Nations where he was standing on the ground floor of the General Assembly to talk. Also has no respect for the international power starting from America, the host country of the United Nations. So I hope some kind of effort can be done in order to restore the respect and influence of the United Nations. Otherwise, we're going to be in a very bad situation for all the globe.